POV Italian cooking, where you see cooking from my point of view. I was in the mood for something seafood and something quick. So while I was at the store, I picked up some frozen mussels and frozen clams. They didn't have fresh. And thought, I'm going to use these to make a creamy pasta with clams and mussels. Fresh is always better. But one advantage of having frozen clams and mussels, one, they're debearded. Two, they're pretty much cooked. So all you got to do is just kind of thaw them out a little bit and then steam them real quick. It's just convenient. Again, it's never as good as fresh, but it'll get you by in a pinch. With that, let's take a look at our ingredients and start cooking this dish. We're going to review the ingredients for our creamy pasta with mussels and clams. We are going to use 2 to 3 tablespoons of our olive oil, 3/4 cup of dry white wine. I had Trebbiano, so that's what we're going to use. Salt and pepper as always. 3/4 cup of our clam juice, 1 shallot, probably 4 cloves of garlic, give or take. And we're going to use about 3 tablespoons of our butter. We have a pound of mussels frozen and almost a pound of hard shell clams. My grocer didn't have fresh mussels and clams today, so we use what we can get. These are frozen, and we're going to have a pound of spaghetti. So what I'm going to do, break away, I'm going to finely chop my shallot. I'm going to mince up my garlic, and I'm going to get these soaking in some cold water so that they thaw out just a little bit. So when I get back, we're going to start cooking. Okay, there were a few ingredients that I forgot to include while we were reviewing ingredients, and that was, you're going to want about 3 tablespoons of parsley finely chopped, and we're going to need a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. So sorry about that while I was, failed to mention those during the review of ingredients, but we're about to a point where we want to start cooking. It is time to start cooking. So we're going to start with about 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil in our pan. A little bit of smoke because there's some crap burning off my burner here, so I apologize. In this, we are going to put our shallots and our garlic over about medium heat. Should be enough right there. We're going to let this cook for 3 to 5 minutes because really what we want to happen here is we want our shallots to become a little bit transparent and our garlic to kind of infuse this oil. I'll put a little bit more oil in here. Turn my heat way down. Now I've got my water, I've got my water for my pasta going. Your water should always be the salinity of the sea. Our spaghetti, what we're using is just a Barolo spaghetti. This is 9 minutes to al dente, and we want to finish in this pan. So I'm going to turn my water down because I'm not quite ready for that yet. So we're going to let this cook 3 to 5 minutes, and then we will be back. Okay, it's been 3 minutes, so it is time to add our wine. We are going to use 3/4 cup of a nice dry white wine. Today we're using a Trebbiano because that's what I had. Into the pan, listen to the bubbly, stubbly, doubly. Then we add a 1/2 cup of our clam juice to give us that nice seafood flavor. We are then going to add our butter, and we want about 3 tablespoons of butter. Just cut it up into chunks. It'll make it nice, melt a little bit easier. Yeah, look at my hands now. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to turn our heat up here, get this going, and we're going to let this cook for 3-4 minutes to let the butter melt and just kind of let the wine maybe boil a little bit, kind of get the alcohol out of it, and just to reduce. Again, we want it to reduce just a little teeny tiny bit. So we crank our heat up. Let's say 4 minutes, we'll be back. Our wine and clam juice has been boiling away here for a few minutes. So now what we are going to do is add 1/2 cup of heavy cream. This will make it creamy. Just pour that right in. Give it a little stir. Oh, that half cup was perfect. Look at that. Nice. Just a little bit of cream to it. Let that get incorporated while we stir here and come up to heat. I'm going to turn my heat on medium. Now we're going to put our clams in, and this is going to simmer for about 10 minutes. Now the advantage of using frozen clams and mussels is that you don't have to worry about debearding them. Some of them, yeah, they're already open, but they're okay. So these go right in. Stir these around a little bit. These are going to cook. Once they come up to heat, we're going to cook them for 10 minutes. After they cook for just a minute, I'm going to drop my pasta. Let's go ahead and drop our pasta. I'm going to turn my water up. Now I want the pasta to not get all the way done in the water. I want it to be al dente. Again, our water is the salinity of the sea, as Mr. Mario Batali says. Push this kind of down in a little bit. And there we go. Water up. Now, one great tool for cooking is an Alexa. I got one for Christmas. So let's talk to her. Hey, Alexa, set a timer for 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Starting now.
Boom. All right. So when our pasta is done, let me stir this around a little bit. I've got this over, just kind of a medium-high heat to get our clams a-cooking. We've got our pasta in next to it, which needs to cook for 9 minutes, and Alexa will tell us when that's done. So now all we got to do is just let this cook. So I'm going to quit stirring it like a crazy person. We're going to break away. When we come back, we're going to drop that pasta into this bowl and finish it up. One thing before I forget, we do need to salt and pepper this, so let's just throw in a little bit of salt. Again, I always use a kosher salt. A little bit of pepper. And let it simmer. See you in a few. Got about 3 minutes left until our pasta's done. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to put some parsley over this and get it stirred in there. Get this in here before we add our pasta. So that way the flavors have time to kind of get through. This will get mixed in nice and good with all of our wonderful mussels and clams. Stir this up. I've got it over medium heat just to simmer. Just the two of us. Some of the clams are losing their guts, and that's, you know what, that's all right, because, you know, it's all about the flavor in there anyway. So, a few minutes, we'll be back. We'll add our pasta to this wonderful dish. It has been 9 minutes. Our pasta is ready to put into our wonderful clams. So we're just going to take our pasta spoon here, put our sketty over. I'm actually going to turn the heat off of this now, because it's pretty much ready to go. I got something else in the oven here, so I want to cancel my timer on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit in here for just a few minutes, stir it all up, because we want this al dente pasta to become no longer al dente by drinking up the wonderful flavors that we have in here. So what we're going to do, take our spaghetti spoon and our other spoon, just kind of work this together best we can. We're going to let this sit. Oh my gosh, it's already drinking it up. The flavor, the smell is incredible. So now all we're going to do is take this off the heat and let that sit for 2 or 3 minutes. I plated up our creamy pasta with clams and mussels. And we're going to give this a shot just to see how the pasta turned out.
It's good.
The clam juice really infused some flavor. You know what? Even though the clams and the mussels I used were frozen, they still turned out really, really good. The wonderful thing is they're always debearded when you buy them that way. Wow. Yeah, so this is a very simple pasta dish, but packed full of flavor. Wonderful, wonderful. recommend this dish. I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Most importantly, click that subscribe button in YouTube. I'm going to go and eat the rest of this. So again, thanks for watching.